Well, you probably can't see this because most of you are listening. But if you are watching, we'll probably put this on YouTube. This is a shirt. Came up with this saying. See here? Stuck between namaste and kiss my ass. I live in California, but I'm from Philadelphia, and that's how I live. Embrace you at the same time I'll mace you. So I wore the shirt because it could be my final episode. Actually, it's not going to be. It's going to be my final episode of just me talking, but I'm probably going to lead to guests. We'll see how the reaction is. People want more. You'll let me know if you want more. CraigShoemaker.com. Write me a note. Official Craig Shoemaker on Instagram. I've done none of this promotion up until this point because I just want to be raw and real and let this out. Several intentions. The intentions even keep changing. One I just thought of is set the record straight. She has defamed my character. So is the wife before that. They have defamed my character in saying things that aren't true. And men are defenseless on this. We really are. Women are to be believed. Women get, if the woman's not working, they get half of everything. It's just, it's the balance is, it's off. I read some notes from other women that are noticing this in the last episode. But my little pitch is buy a T-shirt. Help me out. It's not going to do anything. Won't put a dent. When she first pulled this, stealing the money, and she moved $1 million over into her account. She had a private account. I don't know if I finished that story. Yeah, she moved the money, changed the password. Did I finish? I don't think I finished that damn story. Well, there you go. That's the lengths that she can go to with debauchery. She just can't be a good person anymore. She moved the bank. She changed the password on the bank account, one that I trusted her with. I said, okay, I'll go halvesies or whatever. I do things with such good intentions. I see the good in people. And I still do. I'm not bitter enough to say, okay, and I can't fall in love again. That's definitely available to me as I fall more in love with life and keep this energy flowing, being of service to others, making people laugh. This is really the jam. I have workshops now. I did a big pivot, especially COVID, into the alchemy of laughter. I have Laughter Heals Foundation, had it for years, but we're just up in the level on all of this. I really want to help people. That's it. It's a major reason for doing this. And also, set the record straight. Maybe if one person hears it that thinks one thing, that thought all this time, maybe Ginny, who I named Ginny, maybe she'll listen and go, wow, I was mean to this guy, and it was really my friend who was horrible. Some other examples are, I had the remote to the house that I'm now in, that she moved this into. She moved this fully into this house with the full intention of leaving. So that's a terrible thing to do to kids. And I hope Ginny and other people understand it. You don't do that to children. That's manipulative. She said, we're going to live here. Just settle in. The dishes, everything went into place. Here's your room. Here's all the decorations, everything. And then she moved them out in the middle of the night and kidnapped them and took them to a private place. And that is going to have an effect on them. But the thing is, she's never apologized. So I want those people that she said those things. Maybe you'll say to her, have you ever apologized to your children? She'll probably lie and say she did, but she has not. She's never sat down with any of us and said, that was really not a good thing that I did. I should respect this man. He's your father. I don't love him anymore, but you should respect him too. And that's the message that I would hope that someday when she comes back, if she comes back to consciousness, I don't know. I did read those letters, which does give me a little hope that maybe she will. Maybe she'll work on herself, like truly work on herself, not be guided by a fraud with this phony stuff, holding spell, all that stuff. It's a bunch of crap, goddesses and all this. It's just a bunch of crap. It's a egotistical crap. So I had the remote to my own garage, and she had one too, and she had some excuse. She makes excuses. She lies, and so I said, give me the remote back, please. And she wouldn't. So I reached into her car because she got out to get something. It was in my driveway, and I reached in the car and she grabs it with violence. She doesn't. She threw it at my face. And just as Chloe was pulling up with someone, she witnessed this. A few days later, Halloween party, the kids at Chloe's school, a little third grader at the time. And right in front of these kids, I said, "Come on, Mika." I just whispered to her, "Come on, let's just get along for her sake. Here we are. It's her Halloween party." And she punched me in the schoolyard in front of people, witnessed by a teacher and some other people. Punched me and then walked away. That's what she does really well. She walks away. And it's unprovoked. These things are unprovoked. People always say, "Oh, it's the guy." No, I'm not provoking. I literally will say things. "Hey, how about peace? Go back to Maui vibe." All those things. That's what I say. That's what brings this out in her. She gets so furious. Another time she was at the safe house. I finally figured out where it was. Imagine that, by the way. I have no idea. I'm paying for it, by the way. No idea where the children are. No idea where they're staying. No idea where this house is. This place that the other dude tried to help her find and everything else because she's being abused and she needs to escape and get out and be safe. And it's this whole safe thing. That's how I feel safe. It's an illusion. There's plenty of safety. It's right there. So I went there and I flashed the peace signs again. Hey, I came to the window, the big window. The kids are there. "Hey, Daddy. Hey, Dad." And she charged me in a full rage, scratches me, pushes me out the door as I'm standing there with peace signs. It's just one after another. I called the police once, went to the police another time. Anyone want to guess where that goes? The ones that did show up, showed them a mark that she made. They said, "Pal, we just cleaned up some guy that smashed his wife's head into the cement. You think we're going to do something with this?" And they just walked away. Try to warn them. Then I found a woman at the police station. She really seemed to have compassion. I said, "Wow, my God, I got somebody on my side here." And I had recordings. I would record her. And, she would flip when she sees the recorder out. Oh, boy. Meanwhile, she would record me. Always hypocritical. And put that away. And I do not give you permission. She's coached by Broke. And I said to this woman, I said, "Thank you so much for having this empathy and listening to me." I felt a little bit of hope. Nope. She says, "Oh, I couldn't find her." And then I did. And she said she hasn't done any of these things and just believed her. That's the way it is. So who knows what can happen when someone is a violent person like this, someone who's volatile, can go off at any second, have temper tantrums. She even had a temper tantrum in mediation. Something she promised to do instead of going to lawyers. Meanwhile, $80,000 later with the lawyers, still at lawyers. She swore that we would not do that. Another lie. Is there a friend that would actually say to her, "You lie this much"? Can she say that to herself? "I lie this." She justifies all the lies or just couches them in a different way. "I needed to, the safety and all this kind of stuff." It's a bunch of crap. So I received these text messages out of nowhere. This from Broke's boyfriend. "Meet Rundle." It's this big announcement. She has to tell everybody, tell the world about her sex life and how he dominates her and BDSM and sadomasochism, all this stuff. And I know the world of opening up I can't even say it. I try to keep this a little clean. In case, I don't know, there could be young people listening. By the way, young people, if you're listening and you have parents that are going down this road, warn people, go to people, have courage, go to people and say, "I'm really worried. My kids are worried about her." They were in therapy, and that's where you're safe. And she compromised their therapy by going to the therapist and have me reported to child services for something I didn't even do. That's how the lengths that she'll go. They're not in therapy now. They're in therapy, and they would tell her the terrible things that she would do. We got a dog, and the dog was supposed to shuttle. Then she stopped that. There are controlling ways because she didn't pick the dog, and this whole thing. She's much better today. But in the meantime, nope, she's boundary girl. Nope, not going to have this dog. And lied, said my landlord won't have it. And she watches two dogs. She watched two dogs in the house that she said the landlord won't let her have a dog. Two dogs. And she lies and says, oh, it's the size of them. Just doesn't stop. So I get this text message. Programmed people can lie easily and live in secrecy and deception. It doesn't mean anything to them. That's how programmed she now is. She spent hundreds of hours being programmed and brainwashed. I might have said before, I asked my kids, what do you think the reason for the divorce was? What are you going to tell people in the future? She says, our mom was brainwashed by this criminal. That's what they say. Now, of course, Broke and Lotus will say, oh, I brainwashed them to say that. No, they witnessed it. Sorry. They witnessed this. They witnessed mommy being this amazing person, the person that wrote some of those letters before, who did self-evaluate a bit, was loving, brought these children in love into the world, is still a decent mother. I don't think it's a good mother that says that to the father. I really don't. I same with the reverse. Parental alienation is awful. Luckily, the first two children, they really did suffer for it. I mean, they have the effects. It's a rough go with them. I got to do a lot of work with that too. Letting go. That's hard. It's hard knowing what I dedicated myself to them as well, and what their mom really beat the hell out of them with messaging about me. These two don't believe one bit of it. Now, it's fantastic. We just really hit it off, and it's just wonderful. Today we went kickboxing in Santa Barbara. We drove there and we did a kickboxing class, and we were horseback riding, and we went to Vegas to 4 different shows, and we just have an extraordinary time. Our rescue dog really is rescuing us as we're rescuing her. We're all in a lot of sadness. Their mom has taken us down a road that these children did not deserve to go down. She acts like a good mother. She does the motherly things. She shows up at school and volunteers. So all the people at school think she's got her image, the ego, and the posts. Oh, look, makes her look good. It's not good stuff. Could have worked on your marriage a little more, a lot more. As many hours as you spent with them, go on a date with your husband. Didn't happen. She listened to this Broke. Constantly a barrage of her thoughts on feelings, and every feeling. She never had a silent thought, this woman. And she went along with it. That's what cults do. That's why it's a cult. That's why this is called, it's a cult. I don't care what you say. It's not a religion, not Scientology. It's a woman who's a leader that people deify. So here's what Lotus did. She had this guy attack me, the boyfriend of the cult leader. So they, 300 miles away, are more important than the father of your children. That's who's more important. She felt that I threatened because I did say, I heard about a lawsuit about somebody else. They won a lawsuit over $1 million from suing because there was a cult. I talked to Catherine Oxenberg. And her daughter was in a cult. Nexium, there's great documentary called The Vow. Lost her daughter for years to this horrible guy who's in prison now, by the way. These egomaniacs that run these cults. It's amazing to me how people can give their lives. Or my dad, 14 different women, a mother, daughter, and everything, gave their lives to him. All their possessions, everything to him. I've watched it happen. It's amazing how there's a repeat. He was an entrepreneur, French word for scam artist. He did all the same things, and it's like, I married my mother. I married my dad. You're supposed to marry your mother. I married my dad. Crazy. That's amazing how some of these patterns exist. I was thinking Raging Bull, you're never going to take me down. You didn't knock me down, Ray. I'm not going to get knocked down. I'd be there for all four children. If the other two end up, you know, maybe apologizing or coming back and saying, look, this is, we took our mom's path. And whew, it's amazing to me how people can justify these actions, how they can I coached their teams. I was there for their college. I got them in college, got them jobs, everything, every sacrifice you can imagine. And that woman did nothing but hurt and hurt and hurt and accuse and all that. Never really a career, jobs. This is what she taught them: gossip, rumors, toxicity, attack, collusion, and all that stuff is what they were taught. This time, she's trying, but they're not buying it, which is great. So this guy attacks me out of nowhere. I read the text. I read it to my kids, by the way. And because he's making accusations about how I am with these kids. I'm going to lose the kids and all this kind of stuff. So he says, I have every email. I am Broke's partner and Lotus's friend. I have every email and message you've ever sent to Broke and Lotus. Saved every attack on Facebook with snapshots. I have every message sent to my company from your followers attacking me because I'm with Broke and they attacked me on Facebook and Yelp. And by the way, I tell the truth. I actually don't know what he's talking about. I didn't know his company until recently when I did a little research. So I have no idea what he's talking about. It's made up. They make this stuff up so they can be the victim. And ironically, calling me the victim. We'll get to that. I have photos that you sent Lotus of your, at the time, girlfriend in lingerie with you saying to your wife, she's not, she's my ex-wife, this is who I'm sleeping with. Now, again, admitting, yes, I did. But admitting again, I wasn't sleeping with her. I had a picture of someone in lingerie and I wanted to make her jealous. And I said, she's awesome or whatever I said. It was mean-spirited, whatever. I'm just, yeah, I have reactions and that was one of them. A stupid one. And I apologize for it, but he's still using this. And what in the hell is she doing sending this stranger photos that I sent her? What does that have to do with anything? It's because of his bribery, which I'm going to get to here. He's threatening me. I have photos. I have photo proof. What the hell proof is it? Yeah, I sent maybe 1-2 photos of this gorgeous woman in lingerie. I've never touched her, but I happen to have these photos and I sent them and I was like, oh, good. Maybe she'll get jealous. A couple years ago. I need you to stop doing what you're doing and put away your sword. Like, I have a sword out. I've never contacted this man. I've never contacted Broke. He's just lying. He says, I have enough in my back pocket to open up a lot of eyes and can take this as far as you'd like. Take care, Rundle. I have enough in my back pocket. Where's he getting that from? Oh. Then I said something to him because I heard he was a trust fund baby and I had heard they break up all the time, which is true. I have them researched. Don't make the money that she says that she does, by the way. It's a lie. But she doesn't care that she lies. It's all about the image. What's it going to look like? Covering up, covering up. I see these phony laughs and phony smiles and phony. I watch her interviewed. She's really good. She's good if you believe her. But so are all these con artists. They're all good. So, so she starts sending him these things. And I said back to him, I said, look, creep. And I had my kids, they actually said, my son, he's so kind. He's so kind to his little sister. He doesn't want to curse in front of her. So he waited till she walked away. We're walking the dog in the field. He says, Rundle, his real name, you don't know jack shit about our family, he says. And he never curses. He's right. You don't know anything. But what is she doing? What is Lotus doing bringing this guy into this? So I responded to this guy. I started going right back at him. Then I went Philly, and I said, "Look, I heard that I've heard some awful things about you. I got from my sources, including that he beat up her son Ocean." So this is what the balls on this guy. So now he defends himself, which is funny. What are you defending there, buddy? Because he knows, they all know that they're frauds deep down. They know it. So now he justifies his threats, and I'll read a few more of them to you. But he says, "This is a message I just now sent to Lotus. Hi, beautiful person." That's how these people talk. "Hey, beautiful person who I don't even know, that I've been with a few times, medicine journeys, probably a group sex. I have no idea." When I say I have no idea, that's speculation. We're not going to go by that. All the rest is fact. I do have the little speculations, and I don't know whatever happened to her brain if she did these things, this medicine journey. I have no idea, which is they use plant medicine, and it was not ayahuasca. It was another one. I don't know. I do know that she came back wackadoo, all different perspectives. One day I'm the king, next day I'm divorcing you. Next day she saw the death of our child. I mean, just really. So they all went together, these medicine journeys, her and Rundle. And at the time, Broke was married and cheating with this guy. "Please let Craig know that I feed the people in my community, and I've been on my own from the age of 15 and started my company at 23. This is when I said that I had heard he was a trust fund guy and Broke was using him, which she probably is. Because she couldn't get that sovereign freedom on her own, couldn't make that kind of money on her own. I heard they broke up a number of times. I happen to know this is all true. Please let him know that I coach Ocean's football and family comes first for me. Please let him know." He sends this to me. This is what a nut. These are not things he'd hear from me and soak in. "Let him know that my daughter of 22 has epilepsy and is my greatest concern in finding her a way to find her way through this. Let him know the damage he's inflicted on all his children. I'm growing weary and ready to throw down the gauntlet and expose him for what he truly is. I love you and I believe in you." Who does he love? Who does he believe in? Someone who lives 300 miles away, his girlfriend brainwashed? Who does he love? Is it love? I know love. I married her. I committed to her. We committed to one another. That's what love is. Not based on some phony cult like follow me into an orgasm program, into soap, into all of those things. That's not what love is. That's a transactional relationship. And he says to me, "Craig," with exclamation points, "you're a damaging force in your children's lives. You're extremely self-serving and causing damage." And that's the thing, causing damage. I've said this to my ex, Lotus. I said, "Do you have any idea the damage that you're causing?" And this guy's saying, "I'm causing damage." First of all, how does he know? How does he know? He's never talked to the kids once. This is something I will follow through with today. I need you to understand. I'll be sitting with my attorney on Monday to discuss our options on slander and defamation of character you're spreading. I have enough in my back pocket to open up a lot of eyes. I'll take this as far as you'd like. Sounds pretty threatening, doesn't it, everybody? Look at the situation you've created with my other two sons. He names them. Really? That's That's what he does. That's what he does. He takes these names. He doesn't know any of them. He uses the other names of all four kids. Doesn't know them. Makes all these assumptions. And this tells you the power of lying, the power of these grifters, calling her his beloved and all this kind of stuff. They're phonies, everybody. He says, you're causing your children harm. I'm going to stop you in one way or another. I need you to understand this as I am a fighter. Anybody want to take that as a threat? What do you think? Lotus reads all this and doesn't do a single thing about it. She denies it. She goes, oh, she told the kids, oh, he has a temper or whatever. Really? So you're going to put this guy with a temper on me? There's child support I deliver all this, make sure they stay in this beautiful community. He says, I will protect Lotus and Broke with everything in my power. I pray for your children and the results of your destruction. Pray. It's another thing the phonies do. They'll say they're praying. I pray for you. No, he's not. Ask yourself that question. You think that this man, this stranger, who came into Broke's life and now they have to post photos of themselves with their engagement and videos and they have to talk about their sex life and BDSM and all of that stuff. Do you really think that this is a prayer person? He's actually praying for me, a person he doesn't know any specifics about, only through her eyes? This is what he's doing. A man of integrity does not act out, this is what he says, does not act in a manner of this way and expose his children to this and create trauma that will take years to repair. Exactly, Rundle. That's called projection. That's what projection is. He's saying exactly what she's doing. She's damaging them for years, not me. And they will tell you this. They told their mom this when she screamed up and down and stamped up and down and yelled at them and blamed me. It's him. Yeah. Think about their lives in the future. Are they going to trust the opposite sex when they watch how this went down? They watch a father who's committed, and why would they want to commit? Look what the father got. Stolen from, lied to, abused, violence, hit. That's what you get there. That's damage, Rundle. These are I just printed these out. These are text messages from him. Your relationship with your children are heading down the same path as my other children. That's what he says about these. This is a complete repeat, and yet you don't understand the impact of the harm you're causing. How in the world does he know any of this? Where does he get that from? He gets it from someone who's doing the same thing I asked her to stop doing, and so have our kids asked her to stop. Mommy, stop. Stop spreading these rumors. Stop defaming. They don't use the word defame. They're defaming my character. That's what she does with this guy. I'm not going to justify answering anything else you've written or the blame. You're playing the victim in every way. He's talking like he knows me. Hope one day you realize the damage you're creating for your children and telling them everything negative and made up stories about their mother. How does he know that? How does she know that? She's not here. I actually tell the kids all the time all the love stories about their mom. What an incredible human being she was. That's what I tell them. They get to see the other side. They witness it. They witness someone who's given her life over to these people that would write a letter like this. I have enough in my back pocket to take you down, and their mother will help me in this. My ex-wife before this. Apparently, by the way, how do you think that makes me feel? That means Lotus is going to the ex, who she always despised and had to give us nothing but trouble. Now she's going to her. She's going to her to attack me. What do you think about that? How am I supposed to feel about that? How am I supposed to react? Well, again, our society's pretty disappointing to me. I went to my lawyer. He did nothing. This should be a restraining order. They never backed up from this. I've asked, I've asked Lotus to address this. She just denies it. I said, well, where did he get their names and where does he get these ideas? She has no answer. This was also in the same batch, by the way, I think it's printed up. It says, I have enough to have your children taken from you, and your family will help in this. Let that sink in. I did. I have enough to have your children taken from you. Your family will help me with this. That's illegal. And these people can get away with it. Have you noticed how criminals get away with things in this society? It's almost, I remember Raven, she ended up winning her lawsuit after stealing $500,000. This is how it works. I ended up compromising on the money that my ex stole. She stole all that money. She moved it over to a private account. That's how insidious she is. She can do all these things in the middle of the night. She's so good at it. Driven by rage that she's not dealing with. Trauma, not dealing with. Two brothers that committed suicide within weeks of one another. Mental illness in the family. Doesn't deal with it. This is illness. All of these actions, you've put them all together, which have gone over them, all the episodes. That's a lot of episodes. And won't deal with it. This is funny that this stuck in there. This guy writes, Craig Shoemaker, only mushrooms and you have made me sore from laughing. Long live the love master. We'll keep living and I'll keep making people laugh and inspiring people. I love it. I hope this podcast is so different from anything I've ever done. I hope it leads to something profound shift, something good, some hope for my children. Because they know mom's lost. And they're very clear on it. They're detached from her. They go through the stuff and she's there for them and she'll take them to different things, you know, took our son to snowboarding and things like that. Yeah, she's going to do that. Now she probably has the money from the new boyfriend. That's where her freedom is because she hasn't come after me for money in a while. I want to say, tell your potential clients, if you're so free with money, then why are you asking me for money? Why have you ripped me off? Why have you stolen that money? She got another $58,000. It's not chump change. Just because I surrendered. I mean, to me, the freedom is the surrender. That's your tip. As much surrendering as possible. Surrender ideas, surrender outcome, surrender results, surrender being right. Those amends that I did was a very cleansing thing. I still continue to do it. I wrote her one pretty recently as well. Now, I will tell you an amends I'm going to write. This is off the cuff. She has done some things recently that would be considered sweet. She sends me, I could read these, a number of text messages, a lot of text messages. I think the most recent one. The most recent one was another, I think she was, she does, what is kind of a trick though. She does the lure me in by saying something nice as if I'm an egomaniac. She's the egomaniac. She needs to be complimented and praised all the time. I don't need that or want that. It's not my thing. She goes, good morning, exclamation point. May I express my appreciation for your presence for the kids, and I feel comfort knowing that they can focus on work while I can focus on work while the kids are taken care of. May I also ask if you've received the email from my attorney? He believes he's waiting for a response. It's not true. As usual, it's a lie. I've asked her loads of times for him to get back to me, but the bullying takes place. It's a bully, emotional bully. That's the irony, as she calls. In the beginning, that's what she told her friends. It's emotional abuse. Well, this is emotional abuse. I don't want to be a victim to it. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I keep taking care of things. That's why I stay with my coaches. I need to stay clean, keep my side of the street clean. But as I was saying, I wandered into not so nice because I smell the phony. I smell the thing that she's doing. It's a trick. Maybe it's not, though. So that's my issue. So I do zingers back, long text messages. Here we go again. Here's Craig. It's almost like she's getting what she wants, but it's my sabotage too. That's what I wrote about in the amends, is my sabotage as well. Now here I'm getting all these nice messages. Oh, you're such a good person, all these things. But I want to say to her, if it was really true, if she really believed these things, the first call she should make in a group text, I've said this before, why not tell Rundle and Brooke that she lied and had him attack me and take it back? Because now it's still out there taking my children away. So if she's being honest, that would be the answer. That's what pisses me off. That's why I do come back, because it's phony. It's just between us. She won't let Broke know that she does this. She doesn't want Broke to know because Broke will come down on her leader. She doesn't let other people know that she does these truthful texts about me, and they're true. Good person. Thank you for your sacrifice. All that stuff. She expresses it only to me. On Facebook, she praises Broke. She tries to get people to go to her coaching program, to her water system, all the MLM, whatever it is. But people are smelling it. I watch. She has like one comment, unless it's like something where she looks pretty, and I go, "You're rocking, girl. You look beautiful," and she just loves it, not earning a dime. She's probably getting the money from the new boyfriend. I'm almost guaranteeing that, just like Broke did. Can't guarantee that, by the way, but most likely. Here's another thing she wrote years ago. I've been in a low-grade funk the last few days. My good old standby tools were not doing the trick. It culminated into waking up this morning, bordering on full-on depression. Here's what happened. These are all written, I read them before, they're all written not many months apart. This is that little phase that she went through of self-analyzing and getting there. She's admitting to depression. But now her posts are the opposite. It's not depression. It's this. I needed to do this. I need to free myself and all this stuff. I felt anger and disgust towards myself for getting in this place. How in the world, after all this inner work, did I end up here? I began to wonder, what do I do? Check my hormones, book a therapy session, get on medication? Yeah, try one of them. I was ready to write off all my spiritual practices as a total waste of time, crawl under the covers, and throw me a pity party. I want to say her spiritual practices are tapping, breathing, meditation, and I'm not going to knock any of those. Great. I have an unbelievable breathing exercises that she's done with me, by the way. I went to a high level. It was awesome. But here's the thing with those only spiritual practices, there's nobody feeding back. Nobody holding you accountable. My tip for the day, get accountability partners. Get someone that tells you the truth. How cool would that be? My buddies back home never let me get away with anything. It's awesome. I love it. I love to be challenged. They rip on me. It's fun. It's fun to keep going upper level. She says, and yet I know it's precisely these moments that are a precursor to something greater. I knew I was going to have to priestess my way out of there. There's those terminology. So I got to work, the deep, unsexy work. I knew I was going to have the priestess come out. And then came a little miracle. I was shown on no uncertain terms that my resentment that I was harboring for someone was stifling my soul, that someone was me. You've heard the saying, if you point a finger, the three fingers pointing back. This is great work she's doing. It's easy to overlook how anger and resentment turn ourselves onto ourselves because we're angry at someone and the focus is on them. Yes, Lotus, that's exactly what happened. You focused to the point where you abandoned the children. You got selfish and went back to your fears and gave into those fears, and you were coached by this fraud. And she says, but we literally are one. So when we harbor resentment, it cannot affect us. To live our full capacity, we need to truly love ourselves. To truly love ourselves, we must be the vibration of love. There's no room for hate when love permeates. She said, what resentment are you willing to drop today? She did this when she did the little speech about going to the engagement, which she lied about to children about that. She went to the engagement of Broken Rundle. She lied then too. It's just amazing how many lies can be told. But at least there's some modicum of truth in there that she looks like she's wandering there and then backs off. It's fear. It's fear. This world is run by fear. Let's be courageous. Let's step up. If you know her, talk to her. Get her out of this cult. Get her out of this. She is under the spell of this woman and has led to horrible things for these children and for me. I'm not going to act like it's only about the children. No. I've been hurt by this. And she says in her post about that love wins. There's a man who's spreading a rumor that I'm in a cult. If this is a cult, and this is love and all this stuff. How do you know you love these people? You never lived with them. Of course, if you live with someone, it's going to be difficult. Of course, everybody. That's why people are afraid of their families, because the family is around for it. They know what the truth is. And yes, the truth is scary. Embrace it, go into it, uncover it, discover more about yourself. That's what I've done. This discovery is absolutely amazing. And it ain't easy. This is not easy. The voices in my head that dominate sometimes, it's devastating. Because I want to talk to her. She wants to do the opposite. She runs. One time we actually went for a walk, and I was like, oh, this is going all right. But then I said something to say, hey, can we address this? And whoosh, and she's literally run me over with the car several times. I'll be halfway in the car, she takes off. She just completely goes into this. So I get it, trauma response, okay, but deal with your trauma response. Go to rehabilitation. Go take care of that. Broke is not going to do this. She's not qualified. She's not a coach. She's a liar, a thief, and this is what she's doing. She's coaching people and using their vulnerability. Could be menopause, could be midlife crisis, whatever it is, and she uses that. She becomes a parent. She becomes their God. She's got a God complex, this woman. And now so does Lotus. She just follows her. Same exact posts, same style, same revealing. But she was honest a few years ago about these admissions that she made. Wow, fantastic. That ain't happening anymore. Oh. As a matter of fact, her lawyer said to me, because I said, look, she's got to straighten some of this out. She's telling my other kids these terrible things. Now, obviously, threatens me with them. This guy says, your family will help me with this. This stranger says to me, really? What are you doing there, Lotus? Why would you do that? Why would you go to these strangers instead of the person who committed love to you, to this family, brought children into the world, made love so that we would bring them into the world, ask God for them, and here these God children, and you're willing to just throw it all away for the illusion of, I don't know what, to be dominated sexually, or never ask me for that. to be successful in business, I'm up for that too. Never showed me a business plan, by the way. Never. I asked her all the time. She avoided it. And that's the thing is some families, the reason I believe that they're apart and estranged, which I don't believe in, talk it out. It's because they know that they can't fool you. That's the thing. Can't be fooled if you're in the family. You're experiencing it all the time. And that's what happened here. That's what happened with a number of my relationships. They know, if it's family, they know that I know. I think my sister's made up things about me now. She's so far deep, cannot go back. No matter how many times, hey, let's, whatever it is, talk it out. No, can't do it. She knows that I know she's lying about those things, and she's so deep in. Same with my ex-wife before this, so deep in, they can't admit it. Too much ego. But it ain't love. Love does win. If you surrender to love, that's always going to win. That's what I have with these two beautiful children and a number of people in my life. The other last thing I want to leave you with, we'll have other episodes where we have guests and things and deal with cults. I might have mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I had an estranged relationship with my mom. I really believed that I was clean and I did all I could, but that she was just completely detached or whatever it was. I really did believe that it was the end. If she'd died, I said I could go to her funeral with no problem. It's okay. We didn't speak for years. She was doing things. And I'm not going to list those things, but they are things, just trust me. When I tell you them, if I told you them, you would go, wow, that's not a good mother. But it's not about that. It's about me and my relationship and my resentments and dealing with those resentments, because those are killers. Me and my unreasonable expectations. So another tip. Again, my producer told me, give some tips. Self-evaluate and figure out those unreasonable expectations you're putting onto someone. She could never live up to those things. And I would go to people, it's like a mother. And people, no, that's not like a mother. You need to draw boundaries, all this kind of stuff. No. One day, I'm not going to tell this story because I think I told it before, but just assume that I had a major transformation that took place. You just don't know what the script is going to be from Big G. And with a couple stories that talk about this. So, all right, I'll tell the story. My mom was coming out to LA again. She was going to go be with the ex before that who was attacking me, and she sort of like took her side almost. Same with my sister. I've had so much betrayal in my life. I got to tell you, it sucks. It just sucks. I hate it. The betrayal that goes on. And I'm like the opposite. I want to have family. That's been my goal my whole life since my dad left when I was born. I want family. That's my thing. I want family, and I find that, there's a rejection that takes place. They say rejection is God's protection. I have to always figure that out. How am I being protected here with attacks from different people? I guess with the ex-wife, the protection is you need to be clear of yourself of that. That's bad. That is no good for anybody. A lot of people get the shrapnel from those bombs. So I had all these build up, this story about my mom. And I said, oh, she never says I love you. And I remember it was a surprise party for me, put on, by the way, by Lotus. And I bawled my eyes out, all these people that loved me. And my mom had just hung up on me. She had called me by accident. It was just really like, oh my God. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I bawled in front of these people. I was so embarrassed. But other people were like, oh, that was beautiful. But anyway, I said, and Lotus threw that party for me, by the way. I'd thrown a couple for her, and it was really meaningful. We just had a really cool relationship, a lot of fun. And things like that, inspired actions. And and then Lotus is always so sweet. She would say, she would say, "Your mom's coming out. She wants to see us." I was like, "Oh, fine. Let her come see us." An afterthought. She's going to go see the other one. She only sent presents to them. It was like, really seemed like a tacky bull. Anyway, I'm going through my old CDs in the garage, and I had a radio show. My mom had a piece on the radio show called "What's Bugging Barb." Man, our old label, "What's Bugging." I started listening to them. I said, "Come on in here. Listen to your Nana." Funny. Even the kids were laughing. She's so funny. Everything bugs her. I'll tell you what's bugging me today. Don't get mad at me, feminists, but female train engineers. I won't get on the train. I mean, I just says all these things. She doesn't. Oh, she's got this cadence. It's funny, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Radical acceptance. That was the word. 2 words that came to me. Radical acceptance. Accept her for who she is radically, without pause, without blame, without anything except for absolute, total, God-inspired acceptance. And that was it. Just all switched right there. I said, "Oh my God, I'm a comedian for a very long time." That's who gave me my sense of humor. I've had an unbelievable career. You can see right now, you can see the Emmys back there. As Comedian American Comedy Awards. This is my prized possession now. My best trophy is it's right here next to me all the time. The Horse's Ass Award at my ex-wife's family reunion. The other one. I'm proud of that trophy. The Horse's Ass. I was going to say she led this. She didn't lead to me being a horse's ass. But anyway, and I just got in this. She came out, and we ended up hanging out together, laughing. She's making fun of her husband, and which is who she is. We love to bust agates. I mean, just incredible. Ended up spending an extra day, and I drove her to the airport, and it was just an immediate healing. And she could say you're the worst son in the world. It would not have any effect on me. Zero. She can say all the same things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. It does not matter. That's her stuff. Whatever she wants to do, she's going to be her. She's not going to change. But then again, she has changed because I changed first. That's what I would implore you to do. Change the energy first. Be more in acceptance. Don't have a list. Throw away the list. She's not going to be the mom that you think. She's a different mom. She's this mom. And this is one funny mom. And I just went back there for a visit. And I was going to stay one day. I call her Rain Girl. Oh, yeah, I have to do things my way. I don't want you here. And I used to think that was an insult. But all it is she's saying, I can't do it because I'm so set in my ways. But I wasn't in acceptance. Oh, she won't ever let me. I have to stay at a hotel and all this when I go back to Philadelphia. That's what. And now my acceptance and my new energy, I stayed 9 days. She tried to kick me out almost every day. But it was a fun kicking out. I leave the toilet seat open, and then she would talk to people in front of me. He leaves the toilet seat up. And he's a mess. And oh my God. And I just laugh. It's okay. It's okay. Otherwise, I would have said she's critical and all this kind of stuff and condemns me. It's okay. And it was so touching. She calls me last week. It's still, I'm still cleaning up after you. You're not going to stay here again. At the same time, she says, I had a little depression. You lifted me out of my depression, Craig. Whew. It was beautiful. My mom telling me that. Person who I always thought was cut off and is in her own way. We had so much fun. We laughed. My dad passed away a year ago, and we spread his ashes at this favorite place. And even the walk there was hilarious because she's complaining the whole time. And I videoed it and I posted it. You can see it. It's her with her cadence going, "Are we there yet?" Oh my God, she's just so funny. And laughing. We laughed and laughed and laughed. She came to my parties with my friends, took her out to dinner, took her to a play. I mean, just such a wonderful time. Introduced her to some celebrity friends of mine, happened to be there. And she just had such a wonderful, even though she's annoyed, doesn't want me to stay there again, it's okay. By the way, I won't stay there again. That was a beautiful moment in my life. And I'll just freeze those 9 days. Those were wonderful days. And it all happened from years ago when I got into radical acceptance of who she truly is. The last thing I'll say is, until I do more episodes with guests and things, I think, I don't know. The script is written by some ethereal divine source. That I know. And this one last story I will tell you about how that is the case. And by the way, I have faith that this script is being written. That she can make a comeback, not to the marriage, but to her. Lotus can come back to being a kind, genuine, beautiful person. She can do things for the children instead of herself. She'll get out of selfishness and greed and be of service. She'll return to those things, is what I have to have faith on. Nothing to do with the marriage, but the respect level of showing these children you can be apart and have respect for one another. She should not be attacking me. She should not be having me threatened. She knows this deep down. She knows it. She knows not to fear me. She wouldn't have me come over and make love to her when we were divorced. She knows. We've been in each other's company a bunch of times, and then she retreats and goes back to her craziness. She's scared. She's scared to leave the cult. She's scared to say anything against this woman who has destroyed a family. And if that woman was listening, if Broke was listening, she wouldn't think so. She would think, oh, he's a victim. She's all this pontificating that she does, all to justify, rationalize some evil stuff. These kids will tell her if they ever speak to her. If she ever had the courage to speak to these kids, I had them text her. Oh my God, she texts them back. Your father's doing this to you, and he shouldn't do this. And, they're trying to express their feelings to her. She can't take it. She can't take it when anybody goes against her. Just look at the posts. She erases them if somebody goes against her. That's what a chicken shit she is. I'm tired of the cowards, and I'm going to be brave and tell the truth. The kids will follow that. Some people won't. They'll be offended and run away. But here's the script that took place that I'll conclude with. One of the other miracles of my life, that call from my mom was pretty much a miracle. If anybody read even my old book, it talks about my mom and how difficult it was. And I always had a rough time with her because when I was kidnapped by the pedophile, she told me to put it away. By the way, she ended up apologizing. How sweet was that? I'm so sorry. I said, Mom, don't worry about it. She was sorry because she didn't do anything about it and take him to court or anything like that. I said, well, to tell you the truth, the problem that I had was you made me keep it a secret. And then I tried to explain it to her how that is really where the poison takes place. So in fourth grade, I was tortured. I've had a lot of life of hurt and pain and people torturing and being mean and bullying. And I don't like the word bullying, but yeah. We had moved again and we didn't know where we were going to live most of the time. My mom didn't make enough money to keep us, but she did the best she could. And she got us in this nice neighborhood, a rental place. We're always renting, never owned because my mom had a secretary and then legal assistants, all that, just with, so I hardly had any clothes. And it was fourth grade. I was sewing my pants. I learned how to sew, I learned how to do things very early, very worldly early and fixer early on. This just led me through life. Of course, the rich kids, I always called them the rich kids. They humiliated me in front of the class. I was just not liked. I was just shunned, and I was really tiny. I was beaten up, like physically beaten up and just humiliated on a daily basis. Not a daily, but a lot. I had one friend, he had a divorced family too, but not many people did. These wealthy or rich families that were together, not us, fractured family. No dad, but nobody protecting me. My mom's at work, there's no protection. I remember one time they came into my house to beat me up. I mean, really. So fourth grade, Mrs. Stout's class. One day, I told a story. I hope this isn't a repeat, but anyway, I know it's going to lead to something that is not a repeat. But anyway, she said, and I made people laugh. It was magical. I couldn't believe it. I was telling a story about my mom beating me actually for breaking this glass thing and everything. I said, and then I started exaggerating. Oh yeah, she beat me so much. I was a pinata. There was candy flying out of my mouth. Ah, they're all laughing. People that hated me. Oh, suddenly there was this fanciful, like this unbelievable thing was happening where they were with me, connected with me. This whole beautiful air that we were now in, resentment free, just so powerful. Laughter is so powerful. It's when I really got it that day. It all went to a whole other direction. Oh my God, this is magical, incredible. I could still tell you the faces, how they just changed towards me from telling the truth, telling a story of violence. It was like a forbidden story. That's what a lot of comedians do. And the next day, she says, he's not going to do this in my class again. And she tied my hands behind my back with blue yarn, hogtied behind my back like a hostage. She put me in a supply closet. She goes, you sit on that box and do not get off that box all day. And I did. I'm defiant. I kept looking at her thighs coming through the vent. I jumped back on. You better be there. She let me eat. That was it. And back to the hands, my wrists bound behind my back. She says, he's not going to do this. The opposite happened. It was my first voice of big G, God, source, light, energy, whatever. It was a voice, just dominant. Yes, you are going to do this. You will never stop doing this. You keep telling truth, telling stories, making people laugh, inspiring, whatever it is. Obviously, a little kid's not talking like that, but this voice inside of me says, no, keep going. And I did. I was the class clown, and I got tortured for it by teachers. I mean, literally tortured with holding books out and being beaten by teachers too. Nothing stopped me, to the point where I made a career out of it since high school, literally put myself through college and then some. It's led to everything. It's just been the most unbelievable life. And behind me, if you are watching, there's posters of specials I've done, and there's me with Dave Chappelle at his house and all this. I mean, I've just had the most dream life from this laughter, bringing laughter to people. It's pretty incredible. And it's led to money too. Money that now wives steal. So it's crazy. I wonder what the karma is. And I do know some of the karma is I did some really bad things when I was younger. I was a drunk and a drug addict, and I would just destroy people's property, rich people and stuff like that. I understand some of these karmic equations, some of the karmic equation of not being good to women, other women from my past. Some I'm really tight with. There's two exes that are just unbelievable friends to this day. I mean, decades later, like really, really close friends. One of them's Aunt Jeannie to my kids. Another one's Aunt Mary Fran. I mean, these are people that I almost married or whatever, or dated. And that went really well and still goes really well. See me for who I am, broke up for other reasons, whatever it is, just incredible. These relationships I have from childhood, television show with my friend from third grade. It's on Amazon, Wolfpack, by the way, with C, no K. Just it's unbelievable things have happened. Specials on television and movies and guest star roles. And I used to watch television. I wanted to be Hollywood Squares, and I wanted Paul Lynde to marry my mother, and the Center Square, Uncle Arthur and Bewitched. I wanted, and then I ended up on Hollywood Squares, 75 episodes, although nobody knows who I am. So I was always Craig Shoemaker to block. My vision was that Paul Lynde would adopt me, marry my mother. We'd be the first father and son team on the Hollywood Squares. I'd like Craig and Paul Lynde for the win, please. Take it, son. It's a sports question. But there I was in Hollywood for 75 episodes, even if it was only to block. All of these things happen because of laughter. All of these things happen because I kept finding where the laughter was, where the positive was. My kids, when they speak to me, the two older ones don't talk to me much, or at all. It's painful again. But the one, when we are getting along, we laugh together. He calls me Opto for optimistic. I'm an optimistic guy. I encourage you to all be optimistic. I don't accept doctors' opinions most of the time, and I'm not sick. I don't get sick because I believe in these powers, these healing powers of laughter that exist in all of us. So I embarked on this career that's made probably a trillion laughs. I don't know. I've been in 75,000 people twice. I performed for Broadway. Ended up singing with Kenny Loggins on Broadway. After I was opening for him, when the guys got sick, I replaced the singer. Just unbelievable life. All from comedy, all from laughter. There's a difference, by the way, between comedy and laughter. Big difference. But anyway, laughter is just so important. What's funny is the one guy that tortured me, my sixth grade teacher, he came to my show a few weeks ago outside of Philadelphia in Sellersville, this old theater. And I had this moment on stage. It was just unbelievable. It's just like, whoa, this is true bliss. Like nirvana. The voices in my head about Lotus and all this is going on and still attacking me and still doing this stuff and taking money and all that, lying and lie, cheat, steal. None of it was going on. It was just in this pocket of there was no agenda, no fear, no desire, no results. I just was in this beautiful space, pure space, 2-hour-long show, standing ovation, connected. And one of the people in the audience was my sixth grade teacher who made me do dictionary pages, Mr. Lennon. And he made me do this thing where I held my books out, and he'd pile more books on top. Him and Mr. Treichel did it. Fifth grade, he did it. Sixth grade, Mrs. Stout did the thing with it. Every year I got tortured because I was a devilish kid. But it all ended up to be this beautiful career. I'm not at the top anymore. It's okay. This certainly won't lead to any success either. But I do everything for a different reason now. And here's the final conclusion to tell you one of the reasons I do it. I was speaking at a church about laughter heals. I do a lot of speaking now about the alchemy of laughter and the power of it. And there's this church nearby. My friend was running this Christian men's group. He says, why don't you come speak? Worst introduction ever, by the way. He says, what's the word? Not saved. He goes, my guest today has not been saved, or whatever the word for it is. And I was like, well, there's a great introduction. These people, like here's the heathen. I got them to turn around, laughing, and I had to understand that it really is truly a great spirit that exists inside of us. That's very spiritual. I'm trying to build a bridge from the woo-woo to the ha-ha. Comedians are cynical. Woo-woo people are too woo-woo. Let's meet in the middle. Have a lot of fun, even though you're on this beautiful, enlightened path. That's the way to get there. Light it up with laughter. So I meet the minister. He comes up to me. I always wanted to meet you. And then he introduces me backstage to his daughter. She said, is it really Craig Shoemaker? He says, this is really Craig Shoemaker. I was, well, I have a number of fans through the years. It's awesome. It's pretty cool. But this was like upper level. Then he goes up and he speaks. And I'm going to paraphrase the speech, but he said basically he's up like an hour later after we all hung out in the back and they prayed for me. I was going through the pain this a couple of years ago with my, the whole disarray and everything with this whole divorce and just this bomb that went off. Oh my God. And they prayed for me. I just felt fantastic. Then he speaks, wonderful speaker, incredible. 30 years ago, he's studying to be a pastor. He's got this best friend who's a wife and 3 kids. He kind of wants what he has, and he's teaching him how to be a Christian. He's got a fiance. She gets pregnant. He says, I'm going to introduce you to my parents. Goes to the parents' house. They said, get out of this house. We disown you unless you abort that child. He says, I can't do that. He said, well, then get out. We disown you. So now he's disowned by his parents. She then takes her ring, puts it on the dashboard, and she says, I can't marry you. It's not his child. It's his best friend's child, the guy who's teaching him Christianity. The white guy with a wife and 3 kids. That's whose kid it is. So obviously you can understand how distraught he is to the point of suicide. He's going to kill himself, and I get it. He's now lost his parents have disowned him. The fiance has betrayed him. He's been betrayed by his best friend. And by the way, it's a theme of what I'm talking about here in this whole thing is this cult has caused, she did it too, but caused my ex-wife to betray on a huge level. I still deal with betrayal. I was betrayed by the guy that kidnapped me. I've been betrayed by a number of people that I've been good to, people that I've gotten jobs for, whatever it is. It's my lot in life to figure these things out and just keep my vibration high, keep on working on myself. I encourage everybody to do that. So he says he was going to kill himself. He's going to drive off this cliff to the left, a place that he had driven a number of times. He knows exactly how he's going to do it. He's going to drive off the cliff to the left, and he makes the right because a miracle occurred. He doesn't tell us what the miracle is. That night, I'm feeling really, really ethereal and upper level. And my friend Kenny Loggins, who I'd toured with when I was a kid, opening for him and sang with him on Broadway, blah, blah, blah. Kenny's on stage doing his last concert ever with Loggins and Messina, his whole team. And he's literally doing a song called Peace of Mind. Peace of Mind. I mean, it was so beautiful. Outdoors. And I'm sitting there just going, he shouted me out during the show. It was like really cool. I'm with my friend Joe. Just feeling the beauty of nature and the stars and this music and my friend. And I just heard this story from this guy, and I just spoken at this church and just really feeling it. And then I get a text in the middle of the song. I shouldn't pick up my phone in the middle of the song. Peace of mind. Everybody's saying peace of mind. It's beautiful. And a text says, the reason I drive off the cliff is someone had just handed me a CD from a comedian named Craig Shoemaker. I laughed till I cried. Life is worth living. You're my friend forever. You saved my life. And that was when I went back to 4th grade. That's when I really said to myself, that voice came again. I scripted this, Big G. I scripted this. This is your script. So is this podcast. I don't know what's going to unfold, what's in the plan anymore. I let go. I just brought this truth, which is what comedy is. People are offended by it because we tell the truth that you don't want to hear. We're pulling the curtain on the wizard back there. I pulled the curtain. She's a wizard. Broke and Lotus. They're wizards. They want you to believe one thing, and it's not true. They want you to believe and stay in these walled cities. The Wizard of Oz, stay in this city. I will control you. I will tell you what you can have. You'll have all of this. It's meaningless. It's not there. Like they say in Wizard of Oz, home is where the heart is. Lotus broke up our home, but we still have our heart. Me and the children still are majorly bonded with our hearts in love. I love them with everything I have. I love my other children as well. They don't love me back today. I don't know what the script is. I do know that this podcast was a free flow. It's very present in me. I feel very healed because I got it out. It's cathartic. It's inspired, even creative. It's not my greatest creation. Certainly wasn't making you laugh. But I think, if the truth sets us free, I feel free. So we'll see what happens if I do another one or a bunch of them. We'll see what the response is. We'll see what your response is. If there's a call for it, then I'll do it. I have another podcast where I definitely have interviews. It's all about the turnaround of life, of which we all have turnarounds. And I love doing that podcast. It doesn't get the numbers. I don't make any money. But the money will follow. The money will follow. Who knows? I might make a documentary out of this. But man, you don't make any money with documentaries. What am I talking about? Maybe a feature film. Definitely has a crazy life. Led a really, really eclectic, magnificent potpourri of life, of every adventure imaginable. I wish that for everybody. I wish that you have truth that unfolds. I'm available for coaching. Hey, maybe it's not coming from the podcast. Maybe people want me as a coach. You should. Good coach. I really like the program I came up with. Actually, I didn't come up with it. I co-wrote it with the big G, as all the good stuff is written. All right. Anyway, I was going to say I love you all, and I guess I do. I just love you all. I love you for listening and staying for all of these episodes. I really do. Sincerely, I just thank you. I'm so grateful. I always like to say, without you, I'm your waiter. And as my mom says, your father could never say goodbye. Neither can I.